Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another fun-filled day. It's Thursday. We're almost coming down to the end of the week, and we have tomorrow's Friday, so we're just moving along here. Stock markets have been relatively firm throughout the whole week. Every time they try to give it back, it comes back up again. And as we discussed yesterday, the feeling is out there that Mr. Powell is not going to exactly push so hard on raising rates. He's going to basically take it a little bit slow and steady, and not so aggressive. And I guess that's what it really comes down to is, hey, Robin, it's probably going to be a very soft, like we've interpreted and we've anticipated, it's going to be a soft, slow increase, not a harsh, aggressive increase. And that makes a lot of sense to me, since I think that most of it has been created. In other words, we talked about it a little bit again yesterday about the idea that supply and demand, what happens is you have X amount of items, you have 10 items, and there's like 50 people who want to own it, and it pushes prices up. And that's what our government policies have been around here. They've been forcing situations where more money is chasing fewer items, and that's not normal here. And so that has generated an inflation and has pushed it all up around the world. And not counting the war in Central Europe at the same time, you put all those things together and you have a lot of issues. But I think that things are going to smooth out. I am pretty comfortable with the idea that inflation can be handled in not the old-fashioned way, basically handled like in the new era crypto way, in the sense of, and I'm not making a joke, I'm saying basically that I think that there's a lot of information that is fed into the economy very quickly compared to 50 and 100 years ago, where they had to do harsh things like slow an economy down and take money away from it and starve it and then restart it and things like that. I think that's pretty much, there's a different era. And I think Mr. Trump, the previous administration, showed that they could do a lot of things in a short period of time for not a lot of money. And it's been kind of impressive with tax cuts and so forth. So, matter of fact, the Office of Budget and Management, I guess the OBM or OMB, Office Management and Budget, out of Congress, which is actually a bipartisan, relatively bipartisan entity, actually suggested that before raising taxes, think about cutting taxes. They said that yesterday, which was really surprising. That's very rare for them to actually head towards the idea of cutting taxes. So, we're not too freaked out about this when it comes to Mr. Powell not throwing out there. The old way would have been raise a percentage point, raise maybe 2 percentage points each meeting, and get up to about 9% interest rates out of nowhere. And in a quantitative easing world now, that just doesn't make a lot of sense, and a lot of information. In other words, fast information and how can I describe it better? Understanding of data of the economy itself, and how you can alter it in a positive way, like the way Mr. Trump did. Dropping interest rates, he didn't drop interest rates; they raised interest rates on him. At the same time, he changed legislation and regulations that opened the doorway for more people to be employed in the history of America, and it was a fantastic thing. And incomes were rising, and everything that the socialists dream about, they happened through capitalism. So anyway, there we are, and we're not that paranoid about it. So let's get to the marketplace and see what's going on this morning. Stocks are relatively firm. We'll show it to you just real quick on the idea right there. You can see the intraday three indices here in the States. You can see the S&P 500 right here is up 12 points. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which has been up as much as, I guess about 250 points, is up 135. And the NASDAQ is pretty much unchanged, up about 4 or 5 points, 6 points, just kind of quiet. Not exploding. We've have a data coming out on the first quarter in about. I guess the first quarter data probably came out. It's probably already there. I had to run down to the plants and see how things were going down the hill on the farm. So I wasn't watching the news for the last half hour, so we missed that. Matter of fact, let's take a look and see what the numbers came out to be. Let's see, because I'm sure it's been reported already. And the answer is, look at that. The currency that will not be named keeps on dropping. Now it's locked to actually something with value. That's pretty cool. Let's see. U.S. allows 2 minutes. No, that's not it. Don't see anything yet. Let's take a look at it on DocDow and see what the data said there. Let's see. Oh, I can do it over here like this. Is it there? Let's see. Trying to find right there. Not there. Looking for the calendar. The DocDow calendar. Let's see, don't see it there. Well, let's do it this way. We'll go into there, and then let's see if we can find the calendar and move it over. Nope, I'm just getting a playing thing here. Oh, there it is. Now I got it. There we are. And let's see what the calendar says. Information. Economic calendar. I had it bookmarked and it's the Google changed it on me. Let's see. Economic calendar. Let's move this over to here. We can all look at it real quick so you can see what I'm looking at. Where's the economic calendar? I had it bookmarked on half a dozen machines, and all of a sudden Google changes it. Not there. Range of markets, crypto, community. Oh, market information. There it is. Let's see if we can find the economic calendar. Nothing. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, I think I just saw. Let's see. Okay, it was a contraction of 1.5. Let's move this off. All right, so that's what it was. First quarter, they were estimated 1.3. Instead, it was 1.5 first quarter GDP. And so I guess that is... They were a little surprised that it was as weak as it was. I think they were thinking 1.3, 1.1, that type of thing. But to come out at 1.5, they're a little concerned, but we'll see how they play it from there. All right. Now, there we go. Here's Janos. No music, we get copyright strikes. Yeah, that was you guys. I put you on. I was trying to find our economic calendar, and it did that. Doc will sing. Exactly. And okay, 54 sees it too. Let's see, first quarter, 8.1, estimated 8 previously. I was really thinking that was going to come out 54 at, what was it? I was thinking it was going to come out at like 7.9 or 8. I really did. I was really expecting this. Oh no, that's not inflation. That's the GDP. Yes. Oh no, wait. U.S. GDP price first quarter 8.1 estimate. Isn't that the inflation numbers? Yeah, it's cooling slowly. It's not. I'm not really paranoid. Like normally you would think, like a Larry Kudlow or people from the old school are very nervous about the inflation, but I'm not. I mean, I'm upset about what's probably masking it is the fuel prices because of the war in Europe. And I'm really not concerned that we can't get this turned around very quickly. Just have to change some government policies. And so it would be really harsh, very harsh, if they just jammed interest rates up hard. I mean, the world has become like a drug addict, and it's used to low interest rates, and it would be really a freak out if they jammed them hard. But thanks for the kudos there. All right, yeah. So you can see on the stock indices, I think it's kind of quiet. Nothing major. There you go. Like the Dow now is up 182, just kind of bouncing around. No real heavy drive. The Tech 100 up 24 right there, and the S&P now is up 20 versus being up 12 as we looked at it before. Now over in the currencies, you can see the what is it? What do we got here? 54 says core PCE 5.1 versus 5.2. Yeah, I think that you're going to see a little bit more inflation numbers, but you know what? The bonds, as we talked about it yesterday, bonds are pushing down. The bonds are like the best when it comes to understanding an economy, how it's being run. I'm not just we got QE, so I mean no doubt the central bank is very influential on the interest rate side, and then it leaks into the rest of the economy. And so, into the stocks and the commodities, so forth. And if it wasn't for the war in Central Europe, we really wouldn't be feeling too much of this inflation. It'd be gradual, What happened was we got a hard push into it really fast, because of the war in Central Europe. And that's really what it comes down to. But I'm expecting kind of like they were thinking that there was going to be a recession confirmed going into 2023. At this point, it looks very clear that it will be confirmed going into the next quarter, this quarter here, in 2022. It's going to move fast. That's the way we see it. All right, you can see Swiss still moving down. You can see here on J4X, lots of pressure on the red side of it. What is it here? You can see it right there. Oh no, where is it at? There it is, right there. You can see it tried to bounce up a little bit yesterday, nothing major. Now it's trying to drop back down again. You got those red dots going on. You see the green line is trying to pierce here, and the weekly is holding on, but for dear life. Well, you can see it there. It's below the time manifold, the plus side of the time manifold. And it's coming to the zero line. Let's put a zero line in there. And it's coming right down to the zero line. We'll see. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. It's over with, and we'll be able to see what the week played itself out and how it described itself. Maybe it's going to be a bounce. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, it's telling us that there's more selling going on than there is buying with the way this line has dropped. And with the daily sell confirmation right there, it just shows at the moment there's sellers out there. Let's see how long they last. And then we go over to the euro. And remember, anybody out there watching, traders, if you care to see something, just throw it out there. Oil. Oh, there you go. Like that. 54 just does it perfectly. Okay, let's go check out oil. Let's see what oil looks like. Put it up on J4X right there. Here's West Texas right there. And let's put West Texas up over here. And you can see it just kind of hesitantly moving up. It was as high as there's 111. I saw something that said 114 this morning. I don't know what that might be. The June contract expired. Let me just double check, but I know that the June contract is gone now. So I'm not sure why. Where I saw that 114, but there's only, the front month now is July. Maybe it was Brent. Maybe that's what they did. I bet they were showing us Brent when I saw the 114. Let's go see what Brent looks like. Yeah, there it is. Brent is trading in the 114 area. So there's what is that? As a $3 contango between one and the other. We've seen that thing get crazy up to like 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. So it's been pretty impressive. We see, the weekly, right here. There it is, right there. You can see the weekly's been, steady. It's not challenging the time manifold at all. The little blue one is starting to play with it. We'll see what that means. We're still in the daily buy for a bunch of days. Getting some volatility signals here. And over on J4X, you can see, Brent is playing all the way up to the top end of its range. It's been green for a good solid 5 days on a daily basis. So pretty much, like I said, I think that I said this maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'm really confident, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I really am confident that what we're going to see is, oil kind of bounced between the 90s, low 90s or mid 90s, all the way up to, say, the 115, 118. I don't even know they're going to get that high to 118 unless something will have to happen physically. Some type of action from the war or something like that in Europe. If something starts to perk up, that would be that would be part of it. And that is that is part of it in the sense of, it's not really clear if what's going to happen. The Russian situation is very nebulous. I don't know, unconfirmed. I don't know, none of it makes any sense. It's so hard to believe it's going on at the moment. I guess it's one thing if they do it in Georgia or Azerbaijan or Syria. No one's really watching it. But, I mean, obviously they are, and people are dying and so forth. But when you do it in the middle of Europe, wow, you're really pushing, the envelope of responsibility. I think that's what freaks it all out. It does. It confuses everything. It really does. And I don't think there's any other way of describing it. It is a confusion. So that's the influence over the energy market, which, everything gets moved by energy. I don't know why people don't rationalize that. Diesel and gas oil for cars and so forth, and trucks, and 80% of the world is run by fossil fuels, and it's not really going anywhere. It's gonna, and the 20% that's not is a combination of wind, solar, and I'm going to throw this out at you. Dams, water dams, and so if you remove the water dams out of it, you're only looking at 2 or 3% of this desire by some groups to have. They have a name for it. I don't understand it. I've never seen it in physics. It's called renewable energy. It breaks the laws of Newton and everybody else, Einstein. There are no such thing as renewable energies, but they have it. They have it listed, and they talk it every day. So I guess it's part of their. It's like a mantra or something, because it's surely not physics and math, because there is no such thing. It breaks all the laws that we understand of physical science. But anyway, that's what it is, All right. From there, we'll drift over to let's see, where do we go from there? We were looking at we were over at the euro. Let's go back to the euro. And anybody wants to see anything like 54 did, just shout it out there. We'll go after it. You don't even have to talk about it with us or answer any questions. We'll just follow it. Let's see. 54 says, would you short Brent at 115 for 105? Sure. Not this moment, no, but I would, yeah. I mean, if I got a sell signal, yeah. You get a sell signal, boom, go after it. Yeah, they try to, it's really surprising. I remember Freeman Dyson, the one of the last of the old scientists. I remember talking with him, and he refused to. He refused to really say much about environmental math. He didn't want to say anything at all, actually. And he would do everything. He would write about everything. But when it came down to that, they just said, that's just something else we don't get involved in. There's no real science to it. So the few scientists that do get involved in it are very few. Somehow or another, they get credited for being a majority, but they're not even a minority. They're just like a few dozen come up with statements once in a while. They're more politically orientated than they are scientifically orientated. So, yeah, it's kind of strange stuff. Let's look at dollar yen. Okay, let's go over and check out the dollar yen. But yeah, I would be no problem shorting. I have no problem being long or short any product. It just has to follow the math. That's all. And where are we at now with Brent? Look at it. It's going up like... where's the Brent? I'll show you the Brent, and then we're going to go over to the yen. But Brent... There's Brent, and it's in buy, so you wouldn't want to short that. It is at the top end of its range, so it has potential. If you get a red here, and at the same time, the weekly... We did look at the weekly... I think it was in this product. Let's go find the weekly in this. It was red, I thought, yesterday. No, it's not. It's not even red in the weekly either. So, until you get some weakness in here, don't be. You can short it for an hour or maybe, I don't know. Depending on the tool. It all comes down to the tool and how long you want to be shorted. You want to be shorted for a day, a week, a month, an hour. You have to define it, and then you have to take a look at the charts and go with from there. I myself. There are two ways to make money in a market. Obviously, be long and sell it, buy it low, sell high, or sell it high and buy it back cheaper. They're the two ways. So I don't have any problems about shorting something or being long something. Would I short it right here, right now? Nope. Nope. We're in a weekly buy and a daily buy. Why would there's no reason for me to want to try to short it. Let's see. Let's find the yen. Dollar yen right there. You see all that red, and it has fallen down to the 27s. We were talking about making it to the 25s or 26s. Let's see what it is over here. There it is right there. It's kind of flattening out there a little bit. It's been in a daily sell since, we're right here. And it's been in a sell for that whole ride down. We had a red and a green, but it popped up over it, but we couldn't take the long, even with it being a long. Now you've got the weekly flirting underneath the zero line, so there's pressure there, and the product is definitely pushing down. And so, you know what, also 54, I don't really, we watch the ranges of a lot of stuff, but I like the math to coordinate with the range, So in other words, if we're at the top of it, like how we look at some of these currencies and they have ranges, and when we get to the top of the range and we get into a weekly sell or even just a daily sell, sometimes it's worth chasing after a little bit. But like we talked about in options, and binaries. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't just trade the range nakedly. Let's see. So. See, Kuroda said that they might end the easing. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Japan is very interesting, in their process. I've had conversations with economists about this just recently too, and it's really, they're a very tight society, and They are very disciplined, but they aren't growing the way they used to grow. And that's the curious thing, is that they're not growing. And it really does open a strange door trying to understand what's going on with Japan itself. They've really stopped growing. Very productive, very efficient, but they're missing some components that used to make them a real dynamic, They were really a dynamic at one time. All right. From there, let's see. Let's go over to the British pound, see what the British pound's up to. Right there. There's the pound. You can see pound is, just kind of bouncing along since it went into the buy. Just inching its way up. It gets down to the zero line, stalls out. things like that. It gives us a volatility signal. Instead, it's doing it again right now. Dollar index for the day too. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. And you can see the green line is coming through the negative side of the time manifold. 47, where you been hiding? Nikkei. And let's see, what was Yano saying? Oh yeah, dollar. We're going to look at the dollar index and we'll go to the Nikkei. There's a dollar index right there. It's been, we've been like the rest of the currency pairs. It's been feeling that pressure on the downside right there. You see it here. We've been in the sell since I knew I put the line in there a couple days ago. Why does it disappear? Let's try one more time. Make it the whole length like that. And then I'm going to go now save workspace. Save workspace as. Maybe it'll stay in there this time. And yeah, you can see the pressure on that. We're still in the weekly buy, which is kind of interesting. It's still really pushing along. But, it's dropped underneath the manifold here. The blue has done the same thing. If this would be down below, I would think there's a real big slide coming. But I'm not too confident about a really large, aggressive move at the moment when it comes to the dollar index. And you can see here in J4X is already starting to try to turn up on the intraday. What's going on here? Let's do a recycle on this and widen this out. You see here our lines are not moving up so fast. Just seas of red. Just like we have a sea of red right here. I think it'll bottom out and we'll just find it chilling. Now let's get over to the Nikkei. Konnichiwa. There is the futures contract. There it is right there. Here's the Nikkei. Went into the buy here. That's interesting. We haven't done anything with it since. Let's throw the line in there. There it is right there. Get rid of that circle from a couple weeks ago. So it's been in a weekly buy for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. And they seem to fall down. You can see we went into the sell here. And went into the buy. It was in the buy there. I guess you had a little win out of it. And then it goes into the sell here. You're standing, watching it get beat up in a buy. And let's see. They did a buy right there. It went up for a day. Really, that's kind of fleeting, isn't it? So let's put that in there. There's your buy there. Then let's see what else it did again. Goes right back into the sell again. Right there. And it's in a buy still, but it's in a daily sell for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And right there, I guess. And it's it gave you that volatility. I guess it tried to get in this. Is it there? Let's move this over. Yeah, so it had a red dot, so you couldn't do anything with it. So it's been in the sell since right here and gone basically the wrong way. You can't take the short though because we're in a weekly buy right there. So it's really stuck, isn't it? Doesn't have any real direction. That makes sense what Janos just said. More and more. They don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do, and I guess they're still looking. I guess if this thing would go into a weekly sell, which, wow, when you're at 27,000, it's awful hard to believe that it's going to go to 24, 25, but I guess it will. Let's look at the S&P. The S&P has been firm it's in a buy for a couple of days now. There's the S&P. Went into the buy off of that, but it hasn't really climbed much. And we're still in a weekly sell. See, we're all, I don't think anything's really going on. I think the classic sell in May and go away, I think we're into that. No problem, 47. I think we are. I think we really are into that, and I think I think that the money is standing to the side, nibbling. I think selling has kind of dried up for the moment. I think that's all you can really say about this market. Now, if we would, when it goes into daily buys, they may be interesting little pops, but I don't think that the heavy buyers are here. I think they're just dollar cost averaging, doing good money management, that type of thing. I know that there's a little excitement this morning with the S&P 500 over the 4,000 area again. That's got some people talking about that, like this was, it's very positive or something. What was the other one? The other one was NASDAQ. Let's go check out the Tech 100. Oh, and let's look at it on J4X too. There's the S&P on J4X. And it's trying to turn up just like us for the last couple of days, going in and out, red. I'm sorry, green, red, green, green. You can see the pressure on it there. Let's check out Tech 100 right underneath it. Oop, do that again. There it is right there. It's trying to turn up. And it's really having its issues too. Let's put it up on the screen. It got into the buy yesterday. It is now, when we sent charts out this morning, we can remove that at the moment. When we sent those things out this morning, it was minus here. Now it's plus again. It's giving us a volatility signal. We're still in that weekly sell, and it's not climbing. It just isn't climbing enough. I think the best way is to understand it is as I just described it. I think it's just going to be, you're going to see dollar cost averaging. You're going to see some nibbling. I don't think you're going to see any major pushes. Maybe one or two that will last a day or two. But I think there's enough injury and pressure that I would say that any real big strength would be sold. And any real size, in other words, if there's a lot of volume coming in, I think it'll be met with selling. I think that's how it'll probably turn out. Yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to. And then, Powell, the jokes about Powell the last couple of days because of the way he's treating the interest rates. And the bond vigilantes are taking care of it for him, really. They're really showing that Powell is not in the mood to put pressure on rates up. So we're really, trapped in that situation where we're not really going anywhere. And that would make sense. I mean, that would really, really make sense. There's no reason to believe that the markets have any conviction at this moment. Okay, and now I'm seeing data here about it contracted on U.S. economy contracted even more than expected in Q1. What else do we have here? Huh, interesting. Labor market signals weakness at jobless claims hold near 4-month highs. The Fed still has a problem. That's the way they're looking at it all. And that is curious, That is curious. And it seems like there's nothing that can be done about it until we get some change in government policies. I heard somebody at the UN, I guess it was, talking at Davos a couple hours ago, and they talked about the idea that coal is going to be used, and they're hoping for fracking to start to be used. Just real question marks on the level of responsibility about energy in general. The lack of it. That's what it really comes down to. So yeah, I agree, Giannis. Definitely, money is waiting. Definitely waiting. There's no reason for it to rush at this point. There's nothing pushing money to get involved at the moment. And you know how it likes to anticipate. So if there's no anticipation, then that's what we get out of it. All right. From there, let's see. That was the two indices. Let's take a look. We go back to the currencies. Did we look at the cable yet? I think we're looking at the cable. Yeah, we looked at the cable. There's the cable. So let's go over to the Turkish lira. My fingers are crossed. I hope the Turkish lira is heading south again. There is the euro. It's not. It's still holding up. I don't know. Mr. Aragon must have done something, and we're not hearing about it yet. We will. It will be put in the news soon enough. The math has already picked up on it. He's doing something that is truly hurting their economy. Whatever it is, he needs to stop it, because he was on the right track there for months. I was so happy with him for 5 months now. I don't know if it's got to do with the NATO thing or what, but boy, and who was it? Someone here, Jordan or 54, or maybe it was even Janos that said it. Maybe Biden's people were just pushing hard on the currency just to remind him that he needs to play nice with others or something like that. Hard to believe they would be that vindictive, but it's the Biden administration, so they're very vindictive. All right, from there, and as I said, we're disappointed to see this strength kicking out the way it is. Let's take a look at Canadian, and there's the CAD. Boy, look at that, a sea of green on the J4X, right up. And there is the CAD. CAD is kind of flirting back and forth. It's actually trying to get through the buy, which is kind of neat. Which kind of odd, because usually what we do is we look at gold and we look at, oil. Now gold, boy, did they I guess they were doing delivery this morning for the May contract, and it got crushed. Well, I don't know. Now I'm being a little too hyperbole. It's down $18 last I saw. They really pushed it hard compared to the other months around it, which are trading at $3 down, that type of thing. Now look at that. May is back to 41. They at one point this morning they were pounding it hard. Now oil, on the other hand, has been firm. So you would think, maybe this was a gold thing that put some pressure on the Canadian. And we'll just show you again oil. Right there, and it's kind of heading towards the high of the day, but at one point gold was down pretty harsh for normal action. Let's put it that way, harsh in that way. You can see here gold still we're seeing weakness right there in the June contract. Gold was down at the 36 area. It's up $8 off its lows. Still in that weekly sell. Can't get out of that for some reason. Can't even get the green line to get through the minus time manifold here. Let's see. Let's take a look at the South African Rand. Right there. You see there, it's trying to turn up. It's got that green going on J4X. And let's check it out over here on the Chicago Quant. Right there. Yeah, interesting. Gold gets knocked down a little bit, and they turn the currency. And usually it's anticipated. You can see it was up yesterday, but we were still in a sell. Now today, it's really lifting much firmer. We couldn't get into the buy here, but it was up on the day. It was trying to go, and it's still in that weekly buy. It doesn't want to let go of that either. It has no interest in letting go of that. All right, from there we will go over to the currency that will not be named. It's like Baltimore in Harry Potter. Now the low is, hey, it gave us our 49? No. 55.49. No, I'm looking for 49.00. Anyway, it's trade down. It was in the sell for a couple of days. It's already started to turn up, going into the buy. You see, it's climbing back up here. It's looking awful good now that it's backed by oil and so forth. And you know what's going to happen is people will exercise it. The arbitrageurs will exercise it. And I guess if they don't deliver, then the currency will be at a par again. You'll see it up at 85 and 90 again. So they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to deliver. And I guess some money's better than no money. And that's as far as they're concerned. If people are going to exercise by buying their currency and taking delivery of the energies and so forth, and minerals, they will. All right, from there we saw the yen already, but we'll take a look at it again. It's trying to lift up, but still in the minus here from the sell right there. We'll see how it finishes the week off and see if it pushes itself into the to the negative side there. Yeah, contradicting is a good way of describing it. It really is. It's the summer, you know. War in Europe and the summer. How else can you describe it? That's about the best way I can describe it. Now, let's finish it off with the Mexican peso. Right there. Banging against the range. C54? I guess, you know, I have a hard time wanting to buy that, and it's at the bottom end of its range. You know, like when you said about Brent, 105 to 115. Until I see a buy signal, I don't want to be in anything on this. And I wouldn't want to be on a short for the oil until I see a sell signal. Because the math is going to be 8.5 out of 10 times right. So you throw on some type of option binary spread, and boom. Buku money, as they would say in Ho Chi Minh City. All right. From there, we go to where do we go from there? We go over to the metals complex. That's what we usually do. So let's go check out, unless anybody wants to see a currency or something like that, or an indice, let us know. But we'll go on our rhythm. And so there it is. Crude oil, you know, we've been looking at that. It's firm. It's in the 50s now. Let's go to the back month and see what the contango is. So it's trading at 111.50, say. And October is trading at 103.25. So what's that? 7, 8, 8.25. So it's got an 8.25 different differential there. Ooh, what do we got here? How does the math take in fundamental events? You know, we've theorized on why it does. What it does is it's a identifier of supply and demand in a little bit different way than most technical tools follow supply and demand. So what it's doing is it's reading the price action, and I'm not looking at volume whatsoever. Our math doesn't look at volume. It looks at price action. And the price action confirms if there's more buyers than sellers without volume. Isn't that interesting? I'll say it again out loud, which is a fascinating concept. So my math does not look at volume whatsoever, and it looks at price action, how the highs and the lows and the opens and the closes all play with each other. And it identifies a demand or a lack of demand. And so normally about almost 9 out of 10 times it'll be right, because it's identifying information that's already in the marketplace on the fundamental level, but we're not privileged to see it because it's insiders. And so over the decades, over the last half century, I've theorized what it's identifying is supply and demand on price action through insiders. I think that's the best way to describe it. The insiders, it's very rare. You know, it's like I said, it's like 1 out of 10 times the information is not known, and there's a panic or a move that occurs live in front of us, and the math then adjusts for it, and then the insiders adjust for it, and it makes the money back. That's why I always say, if you're following the math, my math, what'll happen is if you get into a trade that lost money, the math will clean that up and make the money back, because the insiders do that. You know, what they do is they realize what the issues are. It picks up on it. So that's how it does it around the fundamentals. let's see. So Jan says, for example, we could take a look at a stock with major pre-market moves. Correct. But we can do that only tomorrow. No, we can do it now. That's why we have the, like here. Like here's the S&P 500 on an intraday trading, and I don't use normal time either. I have a whole different definition of time. And so instead of like a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart or an hourly chart, the most we do conventionally here is daily and weeklies and monthlies. But we don't do intraday. It's never minutes, seconds, minutes, and hours. It's always in what they call a fractional way, a spatial way. It's always a spatial mathematic way of looking at it. So in other words, we're looking at 639 contracts as a bar. Each bar is 639 contracts. So it encompasses volatility action. And so, or lack of volatility. So you see here, it goes into a sell. Then we have a white line we was playing with yesterday. Let's do this yellow line here. Run it all the way up and down. So we can do this with any product. So you see here, it goes into a sell. And that's because money sees that it's going down in value. And it knows it. It's going to keep on going down in value. And it does it all the way to... still in a sell since that point right there. And it was in a buy from that point right there. Right there, actually. And so it went into the buy right there and stayed in a buy till there, went into a sell. It hesitated, went up more again, up and down. I guess it went into the buy there, popped again a little bit. No, it still stayed in a buy there. It's still in a buy. So it went into the buy right there. It hesitated, went down, but it stayed in the buy and knew that money was going into the market because of the parameters that I just described to you. All right, let's see. Okay, how do you get that? Let's see. So, for example, we could take MVDA and BABA. Well, we could look at that on a daily basis very easily, and we can look at it also on an intraday basis. That's why we did that webinar a couple of weeks ago talking about the idea that if your intraday math doesn't match your daily and weekly, then you need to make all three work the same way. You got to come up with a formula. They should all work together the same way. So MVDA, BABA, and M will move today. Well, let's take a look at them. Let's see, MVDA. Let's see where MVDA is. I don't think I have. I know I have it in there. We used to disseminate it for a client every day for years. NVDA. Let's go take a look at it. Let's see, where's that at? Right there. Here it comes. Do I have it on here or not? Let's see. No, we had Twitter on there yesterday. Let's add MVDA. Copy. Paste. Now look at he came out this morning with a statement, and the strength is kicking into it, but the weekly is not. So we'll see how long this lasts now. He's said something about paying $41 or $42 or something like that. And so the math, it shows you how on it. Well, you can see yesterday the product was up for the day. You can see it was up for the day, but still in a sell and almost made it into the buy. It just missed. Oh, look at that. It broke flat to it. It was in a buy. It closed in a buy yesterday. Okay, so at the end of the day yesterday, the product closed in a buy. So he must have been buying during the trading day, knowing that he was going to make an announcement. And sure enough, here it is today, and it's up. So yeah, but the weekly's still weak. So I forget what the statement was, but there's Twitter. Okay, now let's go to MVDA. Let's go to that right there. Oh, let me do this. Let me save this so that next time we go and look, we'll have that in there. Now let's go to NVDA. And here's the daily on it. NVDA. There it is. All right. So you can see NVDA has been in a sell since back in here in the 200 and something area. What is that? 225 basically. And then it went into, let's see, where is it? Let's move some of these things out of the way. It's been in a sell from back here maybe. Let's move that over here. Did it get into a buy on this one right there? It got into a buy there, so we can put that there. And then the next day it went back into a sell again, like so. So it went into a daily sell way back in here, right there. We can move all these out of the way. And then it did a buy here. And went back into a sell there. Buy there. Didn't go too far because it's in a sell, I guess. And then it goes into the sell there. And I guess it went into a buy here. And it's trying to go up. And today, there's the pre-market right there at 161 something. You can see it's changing on the screen. 161.81, 161.80, 78, 81, 84. You can see it 83. So, you know, and we could go back and look at it. Yeah, I know that it was I had a friend, actually was an associate. You know, we had an office together in New York. Let's see, where's that? It went into the buy, you know, way back in here. There's a weekly buy right there. And oh no, it went into the sell there too. Let's grab that. I see a sell there now. Right there, it went into the sell. Move that over. And then it went back into the buy a week later. Right there. And caught the move. What that meant basically to me when I look at it, it just says to me the insiders knew that they were going to start, or insiders knew they were buying. Or they didn't even have to be insiders. There was money buying. They were just buying. And when there's a daily buy there, daily buy there, and it went right back into a sell again. As I always say, they take it down and so they can take it up. And they take it up so they can take it down. Talk about being long short. And you can see they put it into the sell here. And we're in a sell all the way to what? There. There's a buy and then a sell. And then the sell comes in there, and the next day they gap it down. They know. So there's the MVDA. You want to see any other stock? I can look at any of the other stocks you're looking for. BAB or M move today. How do you get that? Comparing the recent high lows, deviations, etc. Just my formula. I invented it. It was a tool I developed to fight the Higgs boson back in '77. I was part of the anti-accelerator movement. We thought that accelerators were the wrong way to do atomic theory. We thought that Feynman and all those guys had basically proven what they wanted to prove with the little sparks that they generated, but we didn't really think that they could actually break open, you know, learn anything more than what they already learned. And you can see $16-17 billion later, CERN has not really taught us anything. Maybe the fact that we're not learning anything. I mean, they've created a zoo of different names of different levels of energy and called them particles, but they're not helping us in any way. So I developed a math that would deal with the Higgs boson in a different form to deal with the double slit experiment. And when they legalized options in 76, 77, I started looking at that, and started to head in that direction. Got a job with the American Stock Exchange in '79, and the options exchange. And that's how it kind of developed. It's a formula for atomic theory I use. So anyway, let's see. Comparing the recent. So someone. So comparing the recent. Okay. So Doc, look at Federal Express. Yeah. Okay. You're talking about the stock, right? Federal Express. Right. Yeah. FDX, right? Yeah. Let's go to that. Let me just double check the symbol again, but I think that's FDX, right? That's why my mind automatically defaulted to that. Yahoo! I'm looking up FedEx, Federal Express. I see FedEx. Yeah, Federal Express Corporation. That's what you're looking at, right? FDX. Remember, I was an equity guy first. So I see stock symbols, they automatically fit in my little brain because I was a stock guy first. Let's see. FDX. I thought I had it in there. Look up. There it is. Nope, not that one. There it is. Here it comes. What's up with this? Come on, machine. There we go. FDX. There we go. Now there's FDX. Went into a weekly sell back in here. Didn't really go anywhere, did it? Not really. Went into a daily sell right there. Then went back into a buy there. Back into a sell there. Back into a buy literally the next day. Still, let me put the zero line in there too. And let's see, then it went into the sell again right there. You see it goes back into the buy here. There it is. And then you can see, it goes into a buy here and goes right back into a sell the next day. Let's do that. Where's it at? Right there. And we're in a sell, so you don't get trapped. That's a good thing. See, that's the good thing about the dots and the math all put together, is that it's like the green we do on J4X in a sense. In other words, if they're not coordinating together, you better be in a binary or an option. If you're going to be, this way you don't get stopped out. And then it goes into a sell the next day again. I'm going to take that one right there and put it there. And then that's a short you can take. And hard delta or be short the stock and not worry as much, and the next day they crush it. And then it goes into the buy here, but we're in the weekly sell still. Right there. And then it goes into the sell right there. But we're through the zero line, so you have to be cautious about trying to be short. It does get smacked down the next day. And does it make it into the buy then too? It does. It closes in a buy that day also. So that's there. And then we have just one more sell off of this thing here. That's kind of interesting. That must have been FedEx News. Didn't they come out with news about something? So that's that. How's that look? Let's see. FX. Someone put a bet in on the option market. I bet. I mean, the options markets have been growing, whereas every other area volume has been diminishing. Currencies they dropped everywhere. Stocks they've dropped everywhere. All the exchanges are low on their volume. Liquidity is thin, but on the options market it keeps on growing because it's the smartest place to be, you know. Let's see. Someone put it puts with the total premiums at 12 million. Is that what it was? $12 million worth of options. Rumor is that the index is shorting the company like crazy. Huh. 54 says crypto getting killed, Doc. Won't be surprised to see Bitcoin at 10,000. I wouldn't expect to see Bitcoin at 10,000. Let's check it out right here. Right here. There's Bitcoin. It's been really in a. I was looking at it this morning. I was going to post it. It's in a sell. It's going nowhere, and it's only down to 28. It hasn't gone after the 25 again. We've been in that weekly sell for a while now. Where's it at? Right there. Yeah, I've been in a weekly sell since up in here, since the 40s. So I don't expect to see 10,000 on it. I would be very surprised to see it that damaged. Quite interesting crypto today. It is. It's. There's no conviction. There's no money thinking about getting involved. You can see that it's dead. It is really dead. Quiet dead, not like dead. So it's still from the start of last year, of 2021. It's still higher. Now, no doubt that it's having its issues from this year, but I see not correlated much with the other risk assets. I know, it's such a disappointment, isn't it? It's the one big disappointment I've seen too. I really wish that it had been more independent, and it's like I guess I was saying to somebody yesterday, one of the economists I was talking with yesterday. I said to them, it's electronic gold. That's what it is. That's all it is electronic gold and influence constantly. It doesn't really follow fundamentals. Anyway, I got to get out of here. The New York is open now for 3 minutes. Doc from North America here. Happy trails to all. Happy trails to you. Until we meet again, which is TGIF for a 3-day weekend. Woo, woo. All right. Happy trails to you. To all our trading friends. Talk to you tomorrow, traders. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Giannis. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, 54.